everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous. This is our Beast Tamer Bard build, episode 313. We are trying to... I feel like we're kind of playing cleanup. We have done all of the companion quests, except for Ninio's companion quest, which we still need the final mask for. We're looking for that. We need to do all of the 3 of the 4 riddles or puzzles. We found another of these sets of slabs, so that's good. And now we're just kind of running around doing little things. We're trying to give our army time to clear out all of these enemy demon armies, and we're running around doing little spots. So 313 for this campaign? Yes, 313 for this campaign. Each episode being anywhere from like 30 minutes to an hour. I put probably 300 hours into this campaign. I read everything out loud, so it drastically takes a lot longer for me to get through things, and I've played it almost entirely in turn-based mode, which takes significantly longer than out of turn-based mode. But yeah. Yeah, and even if that wasn't the case, right, I'm also kind of like a slow, methodical player, so games just take me longer. And this game is a very, very long game. This is one of the most content-rich games I have ever played. I say have ever played. It might be the only reason that this isn't the most content-rich game I have ever played is because I've played it like MMOs like WoW and EverQuest. And it's hard to be more content-rich than games that have been receiving constant updates for like 20 years type situation, right? As a single standalone non-MMO game, I think this is the most content-rich game I have ever played. It's crazy. You don't think you ever asked, was there anything that you were thinking of when you named him Odysseus? So, yeah, one of our other cat, Calypso, we had prior to getting Odie, and we had named her Calypso. So once we named her that, we got Odie a couple years later, and we were banding back and forth about a couple of different names. Casey and I like to name animals kind of like strange things or less normal names, right? And then we like to give them pet names or shorten their names or things like that. So we were thinking about naming him. He was originally named Asher when we got him from the shelter, but we were thinking about naming him like Trafalgar or because Casey was watching One Piece at the time, or liked One Piece at the time. And Odysseus was an option. We ultimately decided on Odysseus because of having a Calypso, so there was a Greek theme going there. So yeah, that's what we decided to go with. That's why you don't want to play Dragon Quest VII. You're already a slow player. Is Dragon Quest VII an especially kind of like long situation? Took you 160 hours to go through Dragon Quest XI, but man, was that an adventure. I've heard pretty good things about Dragon Quest XI. I haven't played a lot of Dragon Quest. I played a couple of Dragon Quest games when I was very young, but then I just didn't really get into the series, like in the kind of like mid scenario, like 7, 8, 9, those situations. I never really played Dragon Quest then. I played some of the Dragon Quest monster games. Also, thank you very much for the follow, Necromancer. I appreciate it. Hope you enjoy your time here. But yeah, I've seen a little bit of Dragon Quest XI played, and I've heard it recommended relatively highly. So I'm pretty likely that I will seek it out in the future. Odie is the cutest boyo. Lippo is cute too, though. Yes. Odie is the cutest boyo. I mean, just look at how he, like, lays. He's so cute. He's so soft. Lippo, I gotta say it while she's away. Lippo's a cute cat, but she does not hold... I love her to death. She doesn't hold a candle to Odie as far as cuteness goes. But you're also a slow player? I feel you. Let's jump in to the city in the wasteland. Well, we're on the wrong fucking thing. Let's flip over to this. Do we need to rest? We might need to rest before we jump in. Yeah, we're fatigued. Let's do a little rest. Because we're going to teleport out of here when we're done. Cats are so fun to hang out with. I like dogs, don't get me wrong. But we live in a small apartment, so I can't abide the thought of having a dog in a small apartment because I don't want to restrict a dog's freedom to get out and run and things like that. And we both work full-time jobs, so we wouldn't be here to be able to do that enough. Cats are independent enough to not need that constantly. And I love a cat that's, oh, pet me. Now I sleep, you know? Dogs are more maintenance. Dogs are absolutely more maintenance, but I will say dogs are kind of like um, dogs are a what you put into them type scenario. So if you're a loving, consistent owner that's going to be very involved in your dog, then your dog is going to be a great part of your life. But if you don't have the time for that, then a cat generally works better. you know? Very cool. You heard Dragon Quest VII is easily at 70 hours. To my knowledge, most of the Dragon Quest games are very robust games. I just don't have enough knowledge or experience with them myself personally to really have a good idea of that. So we're good there. We're good there. We need to head this way with this guy. This guy's gonna go join up over there. Dogs are cute, but cats are cuter. I generally agree. Pathfinder's got cats. Yes, we actually have cats. We have a little cat companion in our party. We're heading this way. Gonna take us a while, but we'll get there. Eventually. Oh my goodness, can we recruit? Where's my guy? Where's my other guy that was in Dresden? What happened to him? No. I'm a little confused. I have a fourth general somewhere. What has happened to him? Oh, we took away his stuff, so he's now unassigned. And we can't recruit? Anybody? Are we still... Oh, okay. We are still prohibited from recruit. Okay. Just got confused. That's my bad. All right. If that is the case, I think we want to go... No, he'll only move a little bit further. So I think we're good to set where we are there. I think we're good to head into the city in the wasteland. I have no idea what this is, by the way. Absolutely. Oh, okay. Text event. Okay, let's see how this goes. It is a warm, sunny day in the Wound, perhaps too warm and sunny. The Sarkorian wastelands are roasting in the heat of the purple, shimmering sun. Even demonic plants are unable to survive here. They suffocate in the red dust of the plains. A hot wind sweeps across the wastelands, leaving the commander with the taste of ash and sulfur in his mouth. The commander can see for miles around in every direction. If there were any enemies nearby, they would not be able to sneak up on him unnoticed. However, it does not look like anyone has survived the excruciating heat in the Wound. The only sign of life is the sound of insects buzzing nearby. Their chittering noises sound like harsh, rasping laughter. The heat causes the air to shimmer slightly, and through the haze, the commander notices the walls of a city rising up a short distance from the road. Is this a lost Sarkorian city? A demonic trap? Or just a trick of the mind? The walls look real, but perhaps they are only a mirage. The commander realizes that it is impossible to tell from this distance, so he decides to move along. This is not This is not the tabletop choice. fuck, fuck no, we're not moving along. We're gonna explore. Explore the mysterious city. The walls are partially buried in red sand, and as the commander draws closer, he realizes that this is not a city, but the sun-bleached remains of a Sarkorian settlement. The buzzing grows louder, and the commander can see Vescivores perched on the stone slabs as they bask in the sun. The husks of their dead kin crunch beneath the commander's feet with every step. The commander notices rotten wooden pillars covered in faded Sarkorian runes. The top of the pillars have been gnawed into sharp points, making them look like long wooden stakes. The highest of these pillars seems to be a signpost in the middle of what used to be a busy crossroads. The passage of time has worn away all but 3 words on this signpost: square, marketplace, and gem. The commander decides to. Yeah, use some fucking knowledge world. Search for the Vescivore Queen? Oh, that's scary. Try and identify the city using his knowledge of Sarkorian history. The commander looks around and recognizes the surrounding streets. He's seen them depicted on some ancient maps. The drawings on the walls depict horses and herds of sheep, offering further confirmation of the commander's theory. This is Domora, a city of herdsmen that was lost a long time ago. The commander recognizes the majestic Temple of Gosre that towers over the other buildings. This temple used to be a local landmark and attracted countless pilgrims. The underground aqueducts built under the temple supplied the city with drinking water sourced from a lake that has long since dried up. The commander is sure that this is Domora, but its appearance here is inexplicable. The city of Domora was located far away on the western border of ancient Sarkoris. However, there are many strange phenomena and anomalies in the world. This must simply be one of them. I mean, we are on the western edge of the map, so I don't know how much further west Sarkoris is supposed to go. Yeah, let's see if we can find the Vescivore Queen. Arushale examines the houses closely. It looks like a battle took place here. The walls of the houses have been damaged or destroyed, and all that is left of the roofs are a few wooden beams. When the commander turns her attention to the insects, she notices that all the Vescivores seem to be flying in a single direction, toward the city square. Do we want to go after the Vescivore Queen? Is that what we want to try to do? To kill the Vescivore Queen and thus, kill the Vescivores? Or do we want to go through the other locations? Do we want to avoid them? You thought you killed the Vescivore Queen way back in Act 2 or 3. Is this another one? Yes. So I think Vescivores are swarm hive creatures, and there are many, colonies of Vescivores, but they're basically ants or bees, right? Every Vescivore swarm has a queen, in theory. Yes, it was in Leper's Smile. Absolutely. Yep. So I think it's just Vescivores are just, ants or bees in that regard. So there are many Vescivore queens. It's just, hopefully this one isn't like a super duper queen. Let's go to Gem Street. Gem Street was once full of gambling dens, brothels, and seedy taverns. Now all that remains are empty buildings and open doors that lead down into darkness. However, this does not seem to bother the local residents. Creatures of all different races stand beneath the remaining street signs. They sway from side to side and occasionally shout things out as though they were trying to lure in customers. There are some demons scattered among them, but they do not seem interested in attacking. A diverse crowd of customers stagger through the street. Every once in a while, one of them will walk into a ruined building, stand amidst the rubble for several minutes, and then rejoin the activity outside. A demon with his jaw torn off approaches the commander. A buzzing voice speaks a single word through the hole in his skull. Pleasures. The commander decides to burn this place to the ground. Ask the demon what kind of pleasures this place can provide. The demon doesn't answer. The buzzing, squirming Vescivores gather in the dark recesses of its empty eye sockets. Their movement is hypnotizing, and the commander involuntarily steps closer. Failed the will saving throw. Oh no. The foul stench of the demon's rotting corpse is replaced by the sweet flowery scent of perfume. The buzz of the Vescivore sounds like a song of cicadas on a hot summer's day. The demon's ugly visage transforms into the face of a beautiful woman. Her thick, full lips curve into a seductive smile. She promises every pleasure that the esteemed guest desires, but pain suddenly brings the commander back to reality. The Vescivores have left the demon's eye sockets and are swarming all over the commander's face. They bite and gnaw at his unprotected skin. However, when the commander comes to his senses, they quickly scatter, as if given the order to retreat. Ruh-roh. Would I be immune to the Vescivore attacks if I'd taken the swarm path? I bet if you come here at this point in the game, when you're a full, what's it? Is it called a swarm that walks? No, it's a worm that walks. What's the swarm title? I don't remember. But yeah, if you come here as a full swarm, I bet this is like a exert your control moment where you can just like subsume the entirety of the Vescivore colony. That'd be pretty cool. Gem Street continues to operate like a puppet show in a theater, but no more puppets dare to approach the commander. All that remains is to burn this place to the ground? Oh, no. Well, we're gonna reload that, absolutely. The commander sets the city ablaze, but he makes sure that no harm comes to the Temple of Gosre and its center. No one tries to extinguish the fire. The Vescivores leave their shelters of flesh behind and fly away in all directions. The rotting corpses turn to ash, and the walls are covered in soot. As the roaring inferno subsides, the crackling of the flames is replaced by another sound, the sound of running water. Streams of clear water flow out from beneath the door of Gosra's temple and cascade down to the entrance steps. The underground stream that has bubbled up to the surface signals the return of the deity who once presided here. The commander feels the touch of Gosra's blessing. A gust of fresh air gently caresses his face. Gomorrah has been freed. The city is no longer a Vescivore trap. That's cool. All right, well, we don't want that. I mean, we do want that, but not before we do other things, I think. We'll see. I definitely want to see what the other options are before we commit to that particular instance. So. Explore the mysterious city. Boom. Boom. Go to Gem Street. We're going to try this again. Succeeded! Yes. By sheer force of will, the commander manages to shake off the trance and step back. The demon does not move. He stands in place like a mindless puppet and continues to repeat a single word. Pleasures. Okay. Turn around and go back. To the marketplace. Aha, here we go. As the commander moves further into the city, he hears the hum of voices and the sounds of conversation coming from the marketplace. It seems the city is still inhabited. The commander heads toward the market square and sees creatures of all races trading with one another. Demons and other creatures scurry around between the stalls in the sun-baked square. The hot wind carries with it the foul stench of rotting flesh. As the commander gets closer, he realizes that the customers and vendors are only pretending to trade. They move around aimlessly, occasionally shouting out incomprehensible nonsense. Many of them are missing limbs, and a few are even headless. They pick up pieces of rotting flesh from the stalls piled high with body parts. Some of them try to attach these putrid limbs to their bodies, while others stuff the rancid flesh into their mouths. Horses with lolling tongues roam through the crowd. A headless crusader staggers towards the commander. One of his hands is missing, and a stick has been shoved in its place. He holds out a basket of rotten apples. A buzzing voice from the empty hole in his breastplate utters the words, "Marketplace buy, move along." The commander decides to take an apple. Amused by the odd behavior of the dead man, the commander takes an apple from the basket. However, the corpse refuses to leave. Instead, the crusader grabs the commander's hand with such force he nearly yanks the commander's arm from his shoulder. "Pay the market price," whispers the buzzing voice from within the armor. Why are these both Arushale? Sure. The fingers of the dead man break like dry twigs. The crusader falls, and his apples scatter across the ground. However, after a few minutes, the crusader gets back to his feet and staggers away as if nothing happened. As the commander moves further into the city... Oh, no. That's it. Very interesting. Turn around and go back. We're going to the square. Let's see what's up with that Vescavor queen. The winding street that leads to the square is lined with partially destroyed houses. Many of them have only 3 walls, and others are nothing more than piles of rubble. The commander notices more and more Vescavors flying around, and the air is filled with a strange, acrid smell. The square is completely empty, but the doors of Gosri's temple swing open. A woman emerges through them and begins to limp toward the commander. She is stripped to the waist and looks as though insects are squirming beneath her skin. Livor mortis has discolored her withered, shriveled flesh, turning it into a blotchy purple color. She opens her mouth to speak, but the words come out in a low buzz that is neither masculine nor feminine. "Herbovazor welcomes you, esteemed guest. Please make yourself at home." The woman falls silent, and then collapses to the ground. A small swarm of Vescavors fly out of her motionless corpse. The insects hover near the commander, as if waiting for him to follow. The commander decides to follow. This is absolutely some, full... Maybe if you... Oh, I wonder if you are the swarm, right? If this Vescavor queen is will be your queen, I don't know. Interesting. The swarm flies through the air, unhindered by the obstacles on the ground. The commander has to climb over debris and walk through partially collapsed buildings to follow the buzzing insects. Finally, the swarm flies down into a blissfully cool, dark hole beneath one of the walls. It does not look large enough for a person to fit through. The commander decides to examine the walls and try to find another way underground. Failed? I rolled a 4! I don't like that. Ursula feels along the sides of the wall. She searches for another entrance, finds nothing. We'll try to squeeze into the hole then. Game's gonna f with me. Tries to squeeze through the hole, but gets stuck. As he tries to force his way inside, he dislodges several loose stones, which come tumbling down on top of him. The commander eventually manages to make it through the hole, but the painful bruises caused by the falling stones will be around for a while. Alright, well, at least we can fail and continue. Yep, look, requires swarm mythic path. Okay, that's the deal right there. The commander finds himself in a labyrinth of underground passages. These are obviously not natural caverns, although the stonework of the underground aqueduct, quite a rarity for Sarkoris, is almost completely hidden under a layer of swarming Vescavors. The walls, the ceiling, and the floor squirm and move like the bowels of a living creature. The insects block all the passages except for one. and this passage is growing smaller by the minute, prompting the commander to move faster. The passage ends abruptly, and the commander finds himself staring down into a huge well. The passage is dimly lit, but the bottom of the well is lost in impenetrable darkness. This could be the area beneath the water tower, but it is impossible to know for sure without a map of the city's underground passages. The well is filled with the sound of buzzing Vescivores, and the commander can smell their sweet scent wafting up from the darkness. The smell reminds him of the sweet caramel sold at Canabras's city festival. Interesting. Memories of that day come flooding back. For a moment, the commander feels as though he's back in the town square. As if in answer to his thoughts, the giant figure of Dascari rises up from the depths of the well. Suddenly, a crossbow bolt pierces the demon lord, and the figure dissipates into thousands of swarming Vescivores. Both Dascari and the bolt are formed out of insects. More scenes flash before the commander's eyes. Ash and smoke fill the skies during the Battle of Dresden, leaving a sour taste on the commander's tongue. Both familiar and unfamiliar people and places appear for a moment, and then vanish. It is as if some unknown creature is trying to see into the commander's mind and access his memories. Yet the creature seems tentative and cautious, almost as if it is seeking the commander's permission. The commander decides that it is time to... This actually really reminds me of Ender's Game. Not necessarily just specifically Ender's Game, but that whole series. This makes me feel as if this is a alien intellect that is trying to mimic human actions and might not be the great evil. Probably is gonna be. It's probably just Pathfinder fucking with me, but what if it's not? Allow the hive mind of the Vescivores into my consciousness. The commander allows the swarm into his mind, and suddenly has a vision that feels so real it's almost like a memory. The commander is standing in Dresden, or is it Canabras? Or maybe even Nerosian? In the vision, he's watching the sunset over the city of Dresden, or Canabras or Nerosian. A priest of some unknown deity approaches the commander. The priest, the commander isn't sure if it's a man or a woman, has no face. There's only a mouth where the face should be. And when the mouth speaks, its words sound like the buzzing of thousands of insects. We are Vorbovazor. Interesting. You haven't read that series, but the mimicry of human behavior reminds you of Michael Crichton's Prey? Yeah, that could be another example. The only reason I call out Ender's Game is the way that... Spoilers for a very old book, but the way that book kind of goes is that they're fighting against a alien race of insectoids, the Vescivores, right? That are swarm creatures like the Vescivores, but they're big. They're not teeny tiny like the Vescivores are. But they do have queens, and eventually the queens try to speak to the humans to try to be like, hey, yo, you know. But yeah. Anyways, pretty interesting. Vorbovazor has heard about the one who defeated the mighty demon lords. It harbors a special hatred toward Dascari, and would like to know more about his weaknesses. It wishes to fight this demon lord and defeat. Ask who Vorbovazor is and where it comes from. The answer does not come immediately. Then the commander sees the purple skies of the abyss cover the city of Dresden, or is it Canabras or Nerosian? Vorbovazor has spent years gnawing the flesh of fallen demon lords, and now a man from Domora, the city of great herds, has summoned it to fight the barbarians, a pathetic bunch of mortal thugs. Vorbovazor crawls up from the depths, and when the mortal fool opens the way into Golarion, Vorbovazor flies up and devours the city it was summoned to defend. It leaves behind a hollow shell, a city of empty streets and silent buildings. The city walls will lure passing travelers into a deadly trap. But silence is not what the swarm craves. There is no life, no thought in the silence. For Bovazor wants to understand everything. It wants to comprehend Golarion, to make it a part of itself. It wants to become Golarion, just as it has become this city. It wants to incorporate all of Golarion's essence, all of its life into itself. But there are some obstacles. There are those who wish to plunge Golarion into oblivion. For Bovazor hates Discard. It hates Baphomet. They must be destroyed. In the commander's vision, the sound of cicadas fill the air as the sun sinks below the horizon. They grow louder and more impatient, echoing the noise of the agitated Vescivores in the well. The commander tries to focus and... I like this bluff. Let's try it. Day passes into night, and then night becomes day. For Bovazor thanks the commander politely for telling the truth, and promises to help the commander in battle if he continues to be a good ally. For Bovazor assures the commander that it will remember his scent, and come when needed. The commander chooses to... Yeah, we're not gonna play that route. We're gonna reject it. This might mean we have to fight it, but we are playing a chaotic good run. The Vescivore is obviously incredibly evil. It was summoned to help defend the city and then butchered the city and laid a trap. It draws people in to kill them. It's not a good entity. It'd be one thing if it was like, oh, I don't want to hurt anyone. I found this place like it was. It'd been destroyed by the demons, so I killed the demons. And now it's just my puppet place. You know, that would be one thing, but no. Reject the swarm's offer. The commander gave the swarm the information it wanted. The Vescivores will not stand in his way. The swarm bids the commander farewell and flies back down the well. The commander is free to leave. After being in the cool air underground, the heat outside feels even more unbearable. The sightless eyes of the city's residents are fixed on the commander. When the commander glances around at these silent onlookers, he feels an overwhelming desire to burn this place to the ground. Absolutely. Okay. That was a very interesting situation. I do feel like that is mostly there for the swarm. So I feel like we only got so much out of that, but it was still very interesting to see. Okay, we can move again. We're going to go ahead and go snag this army. Odie over here snoring. He loud, too. He a loud-ass boy. He a loud-ass boy. He really asleep, too, because he didn't freak out as soon as I touched him. We're gonna Song of the Last Step. We're going to Combat Acceleration. We're going to Auto Battle. And hope that that works. He's a sleepy kitty, he is. A Chaurus? You hate those bugs in Skyrim? Oh, Oh, gotcha. Okay. I was like, what? That's fair. Oh, it's not uncalled for. I actually like that more games this day and age are putting in like arachnophobia settings and things like that. I think there's a lot of people I think out there that are like, insects, no bueno, right? Like, I guess technically, is a spider's an insect, or no, spider's an arachnid. Insects and arachnids are not of the same family. Am I losing my mind? Have I been out of school that long? Is No, they are not. Insects belong to the class insect. Spiders belong to the class arachnid. I was not losing my mind. I was remembering things correctly. No, spiders are not insects. Got it. Yes. I was on the right track. Hell yeah. So yeah, I like that more games in this day and age are putting in like arachnophobia settings and things like that. That's really awesome. Spiders don't scare you if they're small, but you really hate cockroaches and scorpions. Ooh. Um yeah, I'm actually not super like I have a healthy respect for spiders. Like I don't want to walk into a spider. So like I will be cautious about spiders if I know they're around. But generally speaking, I'm not especially concerned with spiders. However, scorpions are a strong fuck no from me. Because fuck no, right? And um, cockroaches don't actually bother me too terribly much. I grew up very poor in a place that is in a location of the world that is very moist and warm, which is just great for cockroaches and water bugs and things like that, right? So I had to deal with cockroaches most of my life. Scorpions suck because they're scorpions? Exactly. Yes. I'm not a big fan of. I'm not like, ooh, I love bugs. But spiders, okay, that's fine. I will let them live. They let me live. Cockroaches, I don't like them, but they also don't drive me crazy. Except when they just leave their fucking shells all over the place. Their little pods. But scorpions are a big fuck no. And so are like those giant ass centipedes and millipedes and shit like that. I'm like, nope, nope, hard pass. You can continue. That's a big do not want. Okay, we are heading up this way. I don't even know what's down here, really. Alright. It's time to hopefully not die. Fingers crossed. Okay, we've got a bunch of Vescivore swarms. We've got some cultists of the swarm. We've got some Uliudrus. I don't actually know how to say those names. We can hit so many of these. We're gonna vaporize so much of this. Fantabulous. And I honestly think after that we turn on long step, and we probably just easy peasy. That's a tanky little bastard. Nicely done. We succeeded. 130,000 experience. We're gonna hit 20 on Pilkwell pretty soon, I think. Which is cool. Yo, nice stack of materials. Yeah, quite a nice stack. Scari's cultists have gathered a big pile of treasures. Gold, bars of various metals, vials with ingredients, tools, and supplies. Their actions seem to have no logic at all. They simply hoarded everything of any value to satiate the ultimately insatiable hunger of their lord. 25,000 finance points, 500 material points, and 400 energy points. Pretty solid. Oh, we did level. Fuck yeah, 20. Guaranteed ability, extensive infirmary. Okay, then. Stone Call. Ooh. This is... That hits with the strength of a fireball times 2. That's pretty solid. It actually hits... Oh, it's deep. Well, it potentially does hit harder than the Firestorm if it rolls better. A heal, sure. Greater channel negative energy to all living units. We don't want to do that because we've got living unit. Innervation is... Didn't we already have innervation? I think we go for Stone Call. We don't particularly care about heal. We don't care about these other two. Stone Call is really the only option here, I think. Stone Call. Does Zealous Student not actually do anything? Because we didn't get an additional feat there. Or was our additional feat the guaranteed did we not even get it? Reduction of losses. That's not what it was called previously. Oh, it's not what it was called in the other. Strange. Well, that's kind of disappointing. I feel like we've been cheated out of a mechanic there. Because Zealous Student doesn't look like it actually did anything for us. The whole point of taking... So Zealous Student is this is a common mechanic in Heroes of Might and Magic style games, is the idea of taking a... Because every time you level in one of those games, you get something on your commander, and that makes them stronger, right? So, there's almost always an experience option that you can take. And the idea being is well, you don't get anything that increases your power. And that's a problem, right? Because the early game can actually be very difficult in a lot of those games. So what you're investing in is that you're going to struggle bus through the first couple levels without the power gained by whatever you could have gotten. But you will get to max level considerably faster, which means that the back half is actually going to be more powerful, and then when you finally get to 20, you get to replace the experience feat with something that's actually useful. So, but I don't know that happened, unless we got to pick Stone Call and the infirmary thing was our freebie, but that kind of sucks. I thought it would be a pick your own option. The fact that we never got another Master of Maneuver kind of feels meh. I actually feel like we got I don't know. It feels strange. I don't know what the design of obviously Pilkwell is very strong, but it feels very weird to me how things worked out with the various, what's the word, feats, I guess we got. So it feels like we got a shit ton of spells in like 4 feats. And that was it. I was really expecting more. I kind of want to go play a Hero of Might and Magic game, honestly. Like, truth be told. Okay, I think we're kind of just noodling around at this point. We're gonna go up here and explore. We wanna see all of the places. No, I don't care about the traveling merchant at this point. Not so long ago, this was the location of the portal leading to the ineluctable prison, the heart of Baphomet's realm, but now it's just another piece of abandoned land. Nice. Cool. Okay, I think we're going to teleport back now. Seems good. And we're probably going to... The next big thing that we're probably going to try to do is probably Spinner of Nightmare's Den. We do need to go to Pelura's Falls and see what's going on with that. There is the bones in a pool of mud. No, this is just reagents. There is the Laughing Caves. We have not been there yet. But it looks like that's about it. We have Laughing Caves. We have Spinner of Nightmare's Den. And then we have the Riddles and Ninio's quest. So, oh, and Pelura's Falls. Pelura's Falls being kind of like this new thing that we have kind of discovered. Okay, we are going to teleport back to Dresden. Because we have some other things. We need to do stuff. Close. We need to... Oh, 2 blades. What? A renowned artisan who forges enchanted weapons has come to the commander bearing 2 gifts. One blade is old and rusty. The other radiates heavenly light and is incredibly sharp. The artisan is offering the commander the choice of whichever sword fits him. Provides old rusty sword. Provides radiant sword. Unavailable because you did not choose the path of the angel. This is wild. Absolutely. I don't... We're gonna give him to Ninio, because that's fucking cool. Give both swords to Ninio, despite the artisan's protests. Did you know the rusty sword holds a divine blessing that the artisan has obviously been trying to surpass his whole life in vain? I wonder what happens if we melted both blades together to make a single one. Following Ninio's advice, the commander's loyal craftsman reforges the 2 swords into one. The upset blacksmith left Dresden cursing, "That damned airhead." The fuck? What just happened? That's wild. Okay, we can do expansions. Aren't we doing... I'm not gonna do anything yet. I wanna go in. I wanna go into Dresden and go to the Citadel because I think we've got some triggering events. Oh, I just realized it's 11 o'clock. Might have to hold on that. Might have to hold on that idea. Unfortunately.
I need to recover my strength.
Yes. Okay. Unfortunately, I do think we're going to have to call this video here. If you are watching on Twitch, thanks for hanging out. That's going to be the end of this video. If you're watching on YouTube, hope you enjoyed. We will see you next time for more Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.